Hello and welcome to Fraggle Talk Classic, the unofficial Fraggle Rock podcast brought to you by toughpigs.com. My name is Beth and I am rewatching for the millionth time.
My name is Julia and I'm rewatching for the first time in 10 years.
My name is Adam and I'm watching for the first time in this timeline.
And I'm Roz Strand, and I'm their special guest. And I'm
Welcome.
rewatching for... Thank you. I don't know. This is probably... I'm going to guess my 30th time rewatching.
Nice.
Fraggle Rock.
Excellent. Yay! Oh, I'm so glad Roz is here.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. I'm kind of a periphery social media person. I love to watch you guys. I love your podcast. And I'm a Tough Pigs observer. I tend not to get too involved in all of that, but I hear about all the love and got to meet some tough pigs in person, and I married one.
Yeah.
Anthony Strand. So
I feel like that makes you a full-fledged... Being married to Anthony makes you a full-fledged tough pig, no matter
Absolutely.
what.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Really, the only thing that I don't do is I don't have a strong online presence. I love to meet people in person. I love to do podcasts because it feels like in real life. But I'm not... If I'm on my computer, I'm usually doing work stuff. So it's fun to get to do actual Muppet stuff, especially with the Fraggles, who hold this was the show that was meant to change the world for the better out of Jim Henson's creations. So I'm really excited.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for today's episode too.
Yeah, we're excited to have you here.
I definitely, when I remembered that not everyone could see the invites that I send, to the staff, like, hey, we have a recording set up. Who wants to come be a guest? I was like, oh, wait, I need to tell, people to invite their spouses who have been on the podcast, too, because we have to have Roz on the show, because you're such a delight when you're on Moving Right Along.
Oh, my cheeks are so pink right now. I'm so honored that you would think of me. But yeah, I'm totally pumped. Like I said, I've seen Fraggle Rock. I don't remember a time in my life where I didn't know about Fraggle Rock. Pretty much. I was a kid of the 80s, and we got tapes from rental places back whenever that was a thing. And I would rent Fraggle Rock tapes because I think that it came out in 1986 or something on VHS. So I was pretty pumped to be able to do that because I just assumed that everybody knew about it growing up.
Yeah. And then you grow up and it's only the occasional weirdo who has any idea what you're talking about.
Yes.
Love me a good concentration of weirdos.
Yeah.
You get enough weirdos in a space together, beautiful things happen.
It's true. Rainbows just shoot out of every orifice. It's just a beautiful thing.
Oh yeah. Doctors are concerned. We're not. No, we know it's fine.
Not at all worried.
So, shall we talk about the episode?
Yeah, we are talking about episode 17 of season 1. We finally got here. It's Marooned. The original air date was May 2nd, 1983. Written by David Young, directed by George Bloomfield. And Roz, you specifically requested, hey, if at all possible, I would love to be on the episode for Marooned. And why is that?
Oh, because this is winning the lottery of Fraggle Rock. One of them, definitely. I just think that it is the most magnificent example of what children's programming should be to create beautiful adults. And that is, ironically, talking about a super deep concept in a way that's accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang well said.
Roz, do you remember the first time you ever saw this episode since Fraggle Rock's been in your life for so long?
Oh, man. I just remember being really, really small. And so just the concept, it talks about death.
Yeah, content warning for listeners. This episode talks about death.
Yes, major trigger warning. If you have experiences with it, or if you've thought about it.
If you have experienced death,
yes,
you might want to be careful listening to this episode.
Yes, your pet, your loved ones, contemplating your own mortality, and I was a tiny child who did that, and I would be on the bus going to kindergarten and thinking about what happens if my grandparents died. What would that feel like? What happens if my mom died? What would that feel like? And I was reliving these things, and then all of a sudden I watch an episode and I'm like, oh, okay, I can tell other people that I do this because I'm not completely alone and other people do this. Look, it's on television. So I can let other people know that this is something that I worry about and it's okay. And it definitely made me, a much more well-adjusted adult because I didn't hide that forever. I was just like, oh yeah, I think about death like Boober.
Yep.
Mama, that's fine, right? I'm like 6 years old.
It is interesting. One of the things that I've been looking at in terms of just like helping children adjust to difficult ideas and difficult realities through stories is you're basically just kind of like microdosing trauma a little bit to sort of build up like a vaccine response to it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
I recently rewatched The Pagemaster with some friends. I don't know if any of y'all saw that one when you were growing up.
My
I haven't thought of that movie in forever.
That is one of my son's favorite movies.
Really?
It holds up, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of jokes that definitely didn't age well, but on the whole, it holds up. And so much of the point of that movie is like, yo, reading and stories are how we microdose trauma to process the fact that our brains will freak out about a thing and get to actually experience life.
Whoa. Clearly, I need to rewatch this movie.
It's a good one. It's a good one. It's got a couple of jokes that made me laugh, and also a beautifully poignant moment where the kid is like, he's like talking to like and hanging out with a bunch of sentient books, and then they like get taken away, and he's like, I gotta get them back. They're my only friends. Oh. And I've seen a lot of things about like, oh man, that kid who only had books as friends growing up, but I've never seen it framed as, well then thank God he had the books.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and it empowers him to be a more active kid because he's lived out these experiences in books.
Exactly.
It's just like, oh, no, indoor child. You go ahead and read as many books as you need so that you feel comfortable with who you are.
Yeah, and this episode does a really good job with that.
Yeah.
I also just want to say, I got so excited about so many other little things about this episode that have nothing to do with the denouement.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, I have a whole bunch of notes leading all the way up to it, and I would love to dive in.
Yeah.
Do it! Put on your goggles, folks. We're going diving.
All right, so first off, there's we get the Docket Sprocket scene, and there's a blizzard happening, which brings up some concerns for me later. But Doc is like, I got a bunch of catnip, and Sprocket does like a pantomime barf thing, and it's such a cute little motion and clearly required 3 hands to do it. And that's just one of those where it's like, oh, 2 adults collaborated to make it look like a little puppet dog was pretending to barf. And it made me very happy.
Also, it's not even just a lot of catnip, it's a giant barrel of catnip.
Yeah.
It's a keg. It's a keg of catnip.
I guarantee that is a 50-pound box of catnip. Because I have seen a 50-pound box, and it looks exactly like that.
How could you see the box if it was covered in cats?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then Doc's plan through computer science.
1983 computer science.
Yeah, is going to change it into dognip. Because that's how computer science works, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
I believe the command is if catnip equals catnip, then set catnip equal dognip.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Raised to the power of bacon.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and Doc says he's going to make it smell like things that dogs really like, and he lists off rare steaks, spring mornings, and postman's legs. Which, sure, I mean, it's not necessarily wrong.
Right?
Yeah.
I wondered about that. Like, is that to bite the postman's leg or to do something else to it?
Probably a bit of both.
Oh.
Some dogs also...
Both,
Some dogs also...
Some dogs like both.
And also some dogs know that...
We shouldn't judge.
That mail carriers carry treats, and so, like, it runs the gambit with dogs and postal workers.
Yeah.
So we cut from there to everybody's building up together a surprise party for Boober. And I gotta say, there's a transition point in my favorite shows where the dialogue stops feeling like written dialogue and just starts feeling so natural. And this episode, every single, like, it's just, there's this little bit where, like, Gobo's trying to make the soup, but he's wearing Moki's apron.
Oh my gosh.
And Wembley's just kind of ribbing him for wearing Moki's apron. Yes. And it feels so organic and natural. And then Moki and Boober are just kind of quipping back and forth, like, but with like poetry and sort of lofty-minded like quotes about reality. And it's like, oh yeah, that is their dynamic. That is how they would connect. And that's how they would banter.
Yeah, because neither of them truly exist on the same plane as anybody else. Boober is in the depths
Mm-hmm.
of his, not humanity, frugality? Is that the word?
What's that phrase where it's like you're the one where you're staring at the edge of the cliff? What's that phrase?
Are you talking about like when you stare into the void stares back at you?
No. The part of our human brain that is just like obsessed with like death and the end of things and the dark stuff.
Oh, right.
I don't know. The only thing that's coming to mind is like the work of Sean Yu.
A little bit. Oh, Firefly reference.
Yeah.
I see you.
There you go.
I see you.
So yeah, we get this great bit of dialogue between Moki and Boober because it's Boober's birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's saying it's an old Fraggle tradition on your birthday, you visit the trash heap and get your birthday wisdom. Boober says, well, there's an old Boober tradition on my birthday. I worry about the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
And Moki says, but Boober, the time to worry about the Grim Reaper is when you stop having birthdays.
Mm-hmm. And Boober's like stumped. He's like, oh, what?
It's like, how have I not thought about this before? I've been worried about this for a very unspecified number of years.
Mm-hmm. We also get a shot of Red picking lima beans, and they're massive.
Yeah,
Yes.
like lima beans as big as her head.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just such a nice little reminder that, like, oh, yeah, no, like, these guys are little. These are just little guys.
Yeah.
Just real little guys.
So what is in Gobo's pot? Because it's lima bean soup. All he's missing is lima beans. So what is in that pot?
Broth.
Beth, have you made this recipe yet for your Fraggle recipes?
Not yet, but I've reached out to my bean guy. Yes, I have a bean guy.
What?
That's
Adam, you know who this
amazing.
is. Adam, you know who this mutual friend is.
I don't actually, but I probably
What? It's
do.
Dan. Dan is
Oh.
the bean guy.
Oh, okay. You know Dan better than I do.
Bean guy.
We have a friend who, like, knows a lot about various types of beans and is very enthusiastic about, like, cooking the different beans in the right ways to make them as good as possible, and has, like, a subscription to an heirloom variety bean of the month thing. It's glorious.
Well, good on you, bean guy Dan. Yeah.
Right? No, I love collecting all the different kinds of nerds so that I can say, oh yeah, I have a bean guy.
Oh, yeah.
A bean nerd.
And so I reached out, I was like, okay, I've always hated lima beans, but that's probably because of, you know, the way that Americans experience them. Is
Yeah.
there a way to make them good? And can we make lima bean soup together someday? So that will happen.
That is very exciting.
Please keep us posted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You now have a professional obligation to let us know how the lima bean soup goes.
Absolutely.
So there is a little bit of a rough cut because we cut right back from the soup to just immediately the trash heap song is starting.
Yeah.
Mm.
And usually we get a little bit more build up. This is like I think maybe even the most jarring, just immediate now the song is starting.
Yeah.
But the song is great.
Was there ever Gorg material in this that maybe got cut?
In this one?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I think probably because there's so much going on
Yeah.
in the rest of it that they just didn't have room for it. So maybe there was, like, you know, originally in the original script that they had to cut for time, but
Possibly.
Yeah, but that's kind of what it feels like. That's why it's the rough cut, because normally you would see a little bit of Gorg action going on, a little bit of
Just like
Junior
a little window.
trying to end his series of birthdays on this particular one on the way out to the trash heap. But yeah, I feel that.
while the song is starting, she does get a few lines of dialogue while the music's amping up
Yeah.
that I don't want to take for granted, because she says, listen, some things are worth worrying about. Impending doom is not one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And boy, howdy.
That was one that was really helpful for me in terms of anxiety. Because I remember, and that's the thing, is I wish I could remember where I picked this idea up, but someone was like, all right, well, you're worried about this thing. And I was like, well, yeah. And they're like, is your worrying going to change the outcome? I was like, well, no. And they're like, okay, then why is that what you're putting energy into? And on the one hand, some part of it's like, well, I can't not. But on the other hand, it's like, oh, if I actually want to feel like this obsessive thing that my brain is doing is a way for me to try to feel in control about this, and I don't. What if I focus on the things that I can control, or research and better understand the thing better so that I feel like I have a better understanding of, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That is definitely a life hack that does not work for everyone, but if one listener got that, then I've just like justified a whole week's worth of sin. So somebody out there, I hope that one works for you.
Yeah, I had a really good discussion with a mental health professional, and it was just about probability versus possibility and how you live your life in one of those two realms. But I mean, you go back and forth, but it's like, but for me, I always lived in improbability. I'd be imagining every single possible bad scenario just so that I could say, okay, now this won't happen because I can't predict the future. And I have predicted that my entire house is going to cave in on me. And so that won't happen. And now I've just predicted it out of probability. And it's a really unhealthy way to live. So by moving into possibility, that you can let go of doing all that worrying and just move on with your life and focus on the present and what is possible. But that's like, for me, for a lot of people, that is not a natural event in our brains. That is something that you have to choose constantly. And that's exactly what the trash heap is saying. She's just like, you have to choose this. And here's a song to help you remember it by. But it's a difficult thing. It's a very difficult concept. And Boober is here in our place to show us that it's okay that you are thinking about this, but also you don't have to. Yeah. Which is a hard line. That is incredibly hard to live by and incredibly hard to teach anybody.
Oh, yeah. You know about the third step too, right?
Tell me.
So the first one, or I guess the second step, because the first phase is probability, and then the next one is possibility, and then the one after that is postability, which is where you go, what if spaghetti? And hopefully the answer is yes.
Always hope that the answer is yes for postability. That's perfect.
Yeah. You like spaghetti.
Then we have this amazing song that confuses the heck out of me. I gotta admit. It's a great song. It's really odd to me.
There's one detail I want to draw attention to. We can talk about the musicality of the song if we want, but there's a great bit where Boober's like, I hate this. And I don't remember if it's Moki or Red, but one of them goes, well, then how come your tail is wagging?
Yep.
Red points it out.
Yeah, and it is. And that is another one of those like really subtle world building things of like, oh yeah, Fraggle body language can be used to convey a complex expression of emotions. And some of these emotions are feelings that the person who's feeling them might not even realize that they're feeling.
Yes.
That's big.
It's huge. Yeah. Like an Inside Out. You know, whenever they start to talk about you getting older and some of your core memories are not just going to be happy, they're not just going to be sad. It's going to be a mix.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're watching Boober physically go through this. He even does this little stomp thing. In the middle, and it's just like, oh, is he into it? Oh no, he's mad. Oh, but he likes it. Oh, but he hates it. And then he's just like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And then his tail wags. It's like, oh, you can actually like part of something and not the whole thing too. So that's hilarious. I love that bit.
Yeah, and we get some fantastic background puppetry from Philo and Gunge.
Yes.
Yeah. Philo like leaning up against Boober and singing up at him sultrily, and Boober just be like, get off of me, what?
They're doing little flappy windshield wiper arms to sync together. It's so good.
It's very good.
It's adorable. Now, the lyrics of the song is what confuses me. And I don't know if this was like 80s versus current times meanings of these phrases. But the chorus is get a move on and then go with the flow. And nowadays, that is two totally different things.
Yes.
So it's like, get a move on, you're motivated, you like to stay busy, come on, get a move on. And then go with the flow is like, chillax, man, let it happen.
I think the undercurrent for both of them is motion.
Yeah.
Like, one of the things about Boober is that, like, he often winds up feeling paralyzed by his anxieties and just not doing anything.
Yep.
And I think the overall, or at least my interpretation of it, was it's saying, you know, sometimes you have to let the stuff that's happening around you carry you forward. And sometimes you just have to do stuff. Like, you just have to do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel that.
I definitely, when I was younger, like, did not understand this song at all. Like, how does it fit with what Boober and Red are experiencing later? I don't get it. And I feel like as I get older and live through globally significant events. I feel like I'm starting to piece it together.
A few too many globally significant events.
Right, too many. No one knows what they're doing. Everyone's making it up as they go along. And like, you know, you go through stuff when you're a kid and you think it'll get better when you're an adult, and it doesn't. Like, hard stuff keeps happening, and you have to keep moving because there's no other option. But stuff doesn't get better on its own. You now have the power as an adult to find and build the better, if that makes sense.
I love the show so much.
Yeah.
Like, it's so true. It's just a way of getting Boober to move through some means, but don't just sit there in your own anxiety.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. One of the things that is actually, as far as I'm aware, clinically proven to be good with anxiety is being physically active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it lets you, like, and we've talked about this on the podcast before, like, anxiety is our brains having too much, there might be a tiger juice, because on an evolutionary level, it costs so much less risk to have more false positives than it does to have false negatives. The dude who's like, man, there might be a tiger, I better be careful. Like, if there's only a tiger 1 time out of the 10, and he's careful every 10 times, he's not getting eaten by a tiger, whereas the person who's like, it's probably not a tiger. Again, only 1 tiger out of 10, they get eaten.
Yep.
But we don't live in a place with a lot of tigers right now. I mean, I don't want to assume for all of our listeners, if you have a tiger in your environment, please trust your anxieties. But that is a thing that evolutionarily is really hard for us to adapt to. We grew up as a species in a place where stuff ate us, and we have stuff in our brains to try to make sure we don't get eaten.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And physical activity is a great way to deal with that. I had a friend who, whenever they were having a panic attack, they would sprint up a hill as fast as they could, and then they'd feel a lot better.
I've been definitely known to run in circles or twirl, especially whenever I'm annoyed with whatever I'm supposed to be doing. It's just like, okay, let's go outside, run in a few circles, and then I can do the thing that I'm really annoyed about doing. Yeah, it really does help. Just get a move on. Go with the flow. Whatever you do, move. Move your fluffy little tail. Let's go.
Precisely.
I do like also like some of the lyrics are like specifically target him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When you're feeling like a boob. Like hashtag called out.
Yup.
Big time. This is just for you, Boober.
Which is probably why he's like, I hate this.
I hate this.
You're publicly calling me out.
There's a detail I want to point out as they're walking back that just made me really happy. Because they're walking back and Moki and Red are just kind of singing the song at each other.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what me and my friends do if we had just gone and gotten song wisdom, is we'd be walking back with that song stuck in our head like, yeah, that's the song that we're singing. It's just, again, it's that same sort of organic, really natural expression of character, and not just character, but character connection.
Yeah.
In a way that feels very good.
Absolutely.
So we get the characters heading back to Fraggle Rock when Wimbley appears, and very clearly, like, Wimbley and Moki need Red to distract Boober because they're not done getting the lima bean soup ready, and they need to finish probably setting the space up, and Red does not seem happy about having to take Boober and, you know, spend time one-on-one with him, because there's been, like, a little bit of, like, not tension, but it's been clear this episode that Red is just, like, just doesn't get Boober. You know, they don't have anything in common. But, you know, she begrudgingly is like, okay, well, I'm his friend, so we'll go to these creepy, foggy caves together.
Yeah.
To kill some time.
Well, and earlier, whenever she's picking the lima beans, she's, like, grumbling about, like, Boober won't even appreciate this. And just anything involving Boober, she's just like, yeah, no. I pick no.
And we haven't really gotten... I mean, obviously we've had episodes where they've spent time together, but we've never really had a lot of one-on-one of Red and Boober, and so it's an interesting dynamic we haven't gotten before.
I was realizing that we've explored Boober Wembley a little bit. We've explored Red Gobo
and Red Moki.
Big time Red Moki.
Oh yeah, but there's a lot of combinations here that we haven't really seen. We haven't seen a lot of Red Wembley. We haven't seen a lot of Gobo Boober. Like there's unexplored combinations here, and that's one of my favorite things about shows with big casts is you can just be like, oh, these two people haven't hung out, what would that look like?
Yeah. And they voice that concern. Like Boober's got this great quote where he's listing off all his various things that he's worried about.
Mm-hmm.
And Red says, have you ever noticed you and I have absolutely nothing in common? And he says, I'm worried about that too.
I also just want to, on that same quote, he lists a bunch of things and then he says, do you want the whole list or just the general overview?
Yeah.
And one of the things he lists as being afraid of is words with R in them. And I was like, my dude, your name has an R in it.
Why do you think he's so stressed all the time?
He is scared of himself.
That's why it's called murder and not muckduck.
What?
Oh, come on. You don't recognize that Office quote?
No. What?
Dwight Schrute is saying how R is the most intimidating letter. That's why it's called murder and not muckduck.
Listeners, I'm so sorry if this alienates some of you. I am, in fact, not a fan of The Office. I have a hard time keying into it.
Totally fine.
I am, but it's been a long time.
But the quotes and the memes are nice.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to appreciate a little bit of puppetry of when they're going down they're going to what's called the spiral cavern, and it looks like they're walking in a spiral.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's a really effective combination of green screen and live puppetry.
And a 3D spiral at that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just bouncing as something spins in the background. Stuff is in the front. Stuff is in the back. Stuff is in the further back. Like, you would think that they had, like, a multi-dimensional camera on here, but they really just had, like, all-in set design and artistry.
Mm-hmm. No scenes in the world building.
Yes.
A note about when Boober's anxiety is useful. So as they're moving along, he sees a sign that's essentially, like, if it were written in words instead of pictures, it would say, like, falling rock zone.
Mm-hmm.
And Red dismisses it like, oh, that's just for doozers. But lo and behold, the danger that the sign was warning about is exactly what they had encountered.
Mm-hmm.
And so Boober's anxiety isn't always misplaced.
Well, and that's the thing. Falling rocks are a tiger.
Yeah.
Yes.
Falling rocks could kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's why the thing is in our brains.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there's also what I think is really unique, because in Fraggle Rock, it's the movement, it's the colors, it's the music, but you don't get a lot of very fine handwork. You know, they're mostly rod puppets, most of them. Moki has live hands, but the majority of Fraggles, so, like, they bounce and they sing around. And Boober does something that takes my breath away every time. He unties his scarf with his little rod puppet hand.
Yeah, I noticed that
Wow.
That is so hard to do. They had to stick that, and it looks like a real natural thing. He just like, oh, I'm just,
too. Mm-hmm.
we're getting hot, and I'm just taking it off, and it just flies by as if it's not, you know, painstakingly planned.
Yep.
To get a rod puppet to untie a freaking scarf. That is dedication.
That is a feat of dexterity.
It is. I was so, and it doesn't happen. They don't mess with their clothes all that much.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's hard.
Yeah, besides Moki being free-flowing and having an ambidextrous tail, like most everybody else just kind of just goes along, and getting to take off your scarf, which is used later on, so it wasn't even just like a throwaway, it was purposeful in the plot.
Mm-hmm.
And I got so excited. I'm just like, look at his hand, Anthony! Look at it! It's beautiful!
Yes.
I get way too excited about that.
No, that is a really awesome thing to be excited about. Look, the first episode of this podcast, I lost my mind because in the middle of a song, Traveling Matt clears his throat and is like, and it's just these tiny little organic details that make this thing seem like a person instead of a weird sock with decorations.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah. I also like how that sign also kind of emphasizes who Red is.
Mm.
Just like, I can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to worry about that sign, because I am the one who is all confidence.
Yeah.
And I can do anything. So that little negative blip does not apply to me.
Yeah, we've really seen her, like, being not like, she doesn't like being told what to do. We had that in a previous episode with the challenge where she really doesn't like that Gobo's the leader and she wants to be in control, so it's very on track for her character, what we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the way that Boober reacts to all of these rocks coming down, his whole little body, and he just starts punching and screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's just one of those, oh, you're so cute when you're mad. Oh, Boober.
And it's also, like, it feels relatable. Like the fear is overwhelming his body to the point where it just has to escape physically.
Yeah. A lot of that in this episode.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate that they don't sugarcoat and they don't overdo, but we can get to that when we get to the feelings.
Mm-hmm.
We have a traveling mat section to touch on very briefly.
Yes.
I have seen the alien or not human species see somebody chewing gum and assume that their tongue is inflating and exploding trope like 3 or 4 times. And it's just, I think it's an interesting one.
Yeah, I don't understand the thematic, like, is there a thematic connection here that I'm missing?
I mean, normally at the end of the Matt segment, he kind of puts a little button on it where it makes it clear, but he just ends it saying, these creatures are weird, and that's the extent of it.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't really get that. I just enjoyed seeing a Fraggle's tongue hanging out of its mouth, because that's also something.
Yeah, he does a really good mlem. I'll be real with y'all, the only thing I wrote down about this one is that there's a Jurassic Park reference.
Oh, I caught that as well.
I missed it.
But no, there's a bit where he's talking, he's like, yeah, I tried to signal that I would also like some of these, and the clever girl creatures, and I was like, hey, Jurassic Park meme.
Well, this is definitely before Jurassic Park, so it's...
Is it?
It is. This is the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Jurassic Park was like
this is 83.
in 92, wasn't it?
Is that how time works?
That's how time works.
I get thrown by that, too.
It might not have been before the novel, though.
I don't know if Clever Girl was in the novel.
So hold on, what you're saying is Jurassic Park made a Fraggle Rock reference.
I mean, obviously.
The line of literary inspiration is beautiful, y'all.
Yeah, when he says, like, I hinted politely that I might be pleased to share their snack, he leans backward with his head up and his tongue out, much like Philo did earlier. So Dave Goelz is just hamming it up today, and we love it.
He's chewing all the scenery and all the gum.
I mean, yeah, he's got to really ham it up with these two characters, since the other character he's playing in this episode has got to be so much more grounded than normal.
Yeah.
Yup. So the alarm for a cave-in goes off?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Back with the people getting the party prep. I love that the alarm is just a dude yelling.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That made me really happy.
Specifically, it sounds to me exactly like the alarm sound that Wembley made when he joined the volunteer firefighters.
I noticed
word.
that too. I'm just like, wait, so a cave-in alarm is a different 30-minute-a-week job?
Yeah.
And the fire alarm is a separate job? We have multiple Fraggles being alarms in our community.
For different reasons.
Yeah,
Love
I
that.
never knew.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, there's got to be, like, a flood alarm somewhere. Maybe, moss intrusion. I don't know. What attacks Fraggles?
Gorg alarm.
Gorg alarm.
Poison cacklers, but
Gorgon.
we haven't gotten to them yet.
No, we haven't.
Spoilers. I gotta go Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind myself again.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I got once I came back for the 10th time, they started giving me like a discount coupon.
Oh, excellent. You got a punch card.
Yeah. But so I want to talk about the way this is framed. Because we've seen Fraggles in distress before.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Wembley lose his mind yelling at a crowd. We've seen people get really frustrated and really angry. We've seen people be scared.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen it played this straight. There's no music. There's nothing to either like dampen the emotional blow of this or to heighten it and sort of lean more into the very special episode of a sitcom kind of cheesiness.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, no, here's this person and she's more scared than she knows what to do with. And this is what that looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I really want to pay attention throughout the episode of how we react collectively to emergencies. Because to me, that was like a very prevalent secondary theme. Like, obviously, there's the, existential dread that Boober and Red are going to experience, but watching the scenes of the people trying to organize and execute a rescue in extreme circumstances was fascinating.
Yeah. The parts of this episode that have really stuck with me over the years are obviously like the Boober and Red scenes.
Yes.
Those ones, especially the last one they share together, which I told myself I wasn't going to cry, and I did cry. That one is so seared in my mind because I think I went back and rewatched it so much when I was younger because I was so amazed at what Jim Henson and his crew put on screen. But the thing that I didn't remember that I was fascinated by was the reaction of all of their friends trying to get them out. Especially, like, I was really impressed by Gobo, which is something I haven't, I think, said up to this point, and the way he really steps up, because,
yeah.
I mean, I guess we can kind of hop around a little bit, because we're now just in the brunt of the rest of the episode. Moki's reaction of just, I want to give them positive thoughts. I want to feel them. My first gut response was like, oh, this feels like thoughts and prayers. But at the same time, everybody responds to trauma and horrific things differently. And some people freeze and some people don't have it in them to commit to the actions. And that's the most that they can do. And Gobo, it feels like Gobo recognizes that and is like, okay, you keep doing that. That's helpful. And then the way that he turns to Wembley and he's like, hey, you've got to, take care of Moki because we don't know how this is going to turn out. So you've got to, make sure you're there for her. And then he goes and rallies everybody else. I was really, impressed by that moment of him having that almost, introspective, he recognized that in his friend that that's what she can do in the moment. And he doesn't give her a hard time about it. He doesn't say, no, you've got to help us. He tells her that's fine. And then he motivates everybody else to, get into it. And it's just so well done and well executed.
Yeah.
Also, while defying the quote-unquote authority, Felix the Fearless.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Felix.
Let's talk about Felix the Fearless.
You want to talk about thoughts and prayers, that's Felix the Fearless. It's like, oh, too bad. Yeah, that's a shame that happened in his super high mismatching voice on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Well, also, Felix the Fearless very much felt like the government being like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't actually go in and help all these flood victims. It's too expensive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the secondary theme of this episode felt a lot like they won't take care of us. The people who are supposed to take care of us aren't going to. We need to be taking care of ourselves. We need to take care of each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a thing that people still don't know today.
Some people know
that's still something that would constantly, whole large groups of community.
Yeah.
We're talking
that is definitely true.
Yeah, that's more what I mean. Less about your smaller, intimately connected communities or the communities that you identify with in your support systems.
Mm-hmm.
But the larger, the nation as a whole, Fraggle Rock as a whole, needing to come together. You're going to have naysayers in the midst of this saying, oh, it's okay. It's hopeless. Give up. We're just done counting. We're done counting who's lost. We're done trying. And that within that, you can still be a motivator and you can still be allowed to keep trying, keep up hope. And Gobo having realistic hope is so difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because, it is easy to give up. And sometimes you have to take care of those who are emotionally impacted, and you can't take care of the actual emergency like Wembley is, because you're just too connected to it like Moki. And sometimes you just got to get in gear and break out, what do they call it? They have,
mutual aid.
Oh, a rock harness.
Mm-hmm.
Mutual aid, rock harness, same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, and that's what I was going to say is one of the few beautiful things that happened as a result of COVID is mutual aid networks, public mutual aid networks sprouted up all over the country.
Yeah.
And as much as COVID was and is a tragedy, and the government response to it is also a tragedy, seeing people mobilize to support their communities because no one else was going to was a really amazing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Americans are really good at coming together in moments of crisis to support each other like that. What America is terrible at is building systems that make long-term support of each other easier and consistent, and so that those moments of crisis are fewer and far between and less disastrous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're very good at reactive empathy. We're very bad at preventative empathy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I get that on a bumper sticker?
Yeah, but it's going to be Sharpie and it's going to be a name tag. But yeah, I got you.
That'd be great, because that's exactly right.
Well, then it makes sense because we've got a toxic individualist culture and we like to be the hero.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And people think the doctor who saved that person's life is a hero, but they don't realize that the janitor who kept the room clean so that person didn't then get an infection afterwards is also a hero.
Boom.
And they kind of make a joke out of that. We get a, I don't know, Anthony pointed this out. We get a classic Henson, if something isn't good enough to use just once, it just might be bad enough to use 3 times.
Yes.
With them yelling down the hall forever on each rope of the rock harness. So we get a little bit of levity on that. But even so, that's showing exactly that. Like, Gobo is the one saying we still have hope. He's the mouthpiece. But then it's showing the infinite amount of people who are backing him up to help actually make this possible.
That made me really happy. That was like, no, this is not just a handful of people. This is the whole dang community.
Yeah.
Yeah, showing up.
I want to also point out just a technique that they did that doesn't get used very often, but that I noticed as a running theme. There's so much of this episode where there's no music.
Yeah.
There's no score. So many of the Red and Boober conversations, there's nothing but like sound effects happening. And so much of the situation where Gobo is the one organizing this emergency response and responding to it, there's no music. It's just, this is what it is.
Yeah.
And it reminds me, I don't know if any of y'all are Buffy the Vampire Slayer fans.
I was literally going to say this.
Oh my gosh, I can't watch it.
Do you want to? Go for it.
It's the body from Buffy, which is probably the most emotionally devastating episode of that entire series. And there's no music in it to really drive in the gut punch of what those characters are going through.
Yeah.
There's no distractions.
The only episode of Buffy I've only seen once. I won't do it again.
Yeah,
I can't do
that's
it again.
totally fair.
That's real.
Yeah.
And they could have added music, and I genuinely think it would have cheapened these moments. Like, they could have had Moki and Red talking about death with sad strings, look at how sad these and it would have been just like, oh, all right, that's kind of kitschy. Or they could have had Gobo organizing with the bum 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 and the action and this, and that would have been like, all right, well, but no, it's just like, no, this is an emergency. And these people are doing their best, and there's no musical narrative to follow when you're in an emergency situation. You just kind of scrabble around and do your best, and there's no music to follow, no musical narrative to follow when you're reckoning with the fact that you might just die. That's that same kind of scrabbling, but internally.
Yeah, it's like the white noise of silence.
Oh, yeah.
And it feels like a pressure. Like, it has a tangible feeling.
Yeah.
So that you can feel the closeness of that cave. They talk about claustrophobia. Her entire pigtails are showing you the weight of everything.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen this in the Red puppet before, but Red's got now, maybe it was just for this one episode, a pigtail moving mechanism.
Yes.
Her pigtails are drooped for so much of this episode, and then at the end you see them go boing back up again.
Pop back up, yeah.
See, I thought that was something that was accentuated. You know how you look at somebody and if you can see the whites of their eyes on the bottom of their pupil, you're like, oh, you're like sick or not doing good. I thought the whole point of that was to make her eyes look bigger and more scared, which probably both.
Yeah.
Probably both. Can we talk about the things that they talk about and the way they interact? Because there's some really beautiful interactions here between Red and Boober.
Yeah, I think the only other thing I want to say about Felix the Fearless is that when, Gobo's like tightening up the rock harness and he's like, that ought to do it. And Felix says, it'll never hold, just offhandedly. And I wrote in all caps, shut up, you Chad. Just because you're an overhyped, incompetent at your job, cishet white man, and you can't do the thing, doesn't mean you can stand there and criticize the people picking up your bleeping slack, who, by the way, are critically invested in the outcome while you have the luxury of, quote, objectivity, because the outcome won't hurt you either way.
Dag.
And breathe. Whew. That was great.
Glorious.
Beth, really quickly, who voiced Felix?
Ooh,
I didn't even think to look it up.
I full on thought you were going to say, Beth, really quickly, who hurt you?
I mean, the world.
But no, that answers
We've all
itself.
been hurt like that very, very recently.
Cis white straight men. Yeah.
Felix the Fearless is performed by Bob Stutt.
Oh, cool. Okay. I think for some reason I was like, Richard, but I wasn't entirely sure, so awesome.
Yeah, let me click on Bob Stutt link on Muppet Wiki just to see what else he has done. Let's see. Yep, Canadian puppeteer, so it makes sense he's been on Fraggle Rock. Felix the Fearless and Wander McMooch, who we have not yet met. Subsequently performed Basil in Sesame Park. Oh my gosh. He was Iggy the Iguana in Under the Umbrella Tree?
I don't know what that
Does anyone else remember that show?
No.
Oh my god. Okay. Listeners, if you remember Under the Umbrella Tree, I was obsessed with this show. My mom hated it, so now I need to go back and watch it and see if it was actually good or bad.
Be careful. I went back and rewatched Zoobly Zoo at one point in my life. It was a mistake.
Oh, no.
So just be prepared.
Be prepared to have my delightful
be
memories
prepared
destroyed.
to let go of all those childhood dreams.
Anyway.
Schimmelfinny's cat came over.
No, so Schimmelfinny's cat is outside.
Yeah.
Fluffinilla.
That, I think, we have this really moving thing. The cat is outside in the blizzard for most of the scene there.
Well, she's outside in the blizzard for that scene because she smelled the catnip.
Yes.
Like, she came over to the house because she smelled the catnip.
At the beginning
and
of
they're
the
like,
story.
do we let her in? But it's a cat and a dog. What do?
How could they possibly get along?
Yeah.
And Sprocket has... And that scene, like, I believe that scene is just a direct quote from something. The whole "no man is an island" speech.
Probably.
Which, can we also talk about how it's really sweet, how he points to his eye and then does a making his hand look like a plane for land?
Yeah,
That was
Doc
really
and
cute.
Sprocket have this incredible scene of Sprocket is basically pantomiming this whole big speech about, coming together in times of crisis, and Doc is interpreting like 3 or 4 words at a time, sometimes 1 word at a time.
Yeah, it's
It's absolutely beautiful.
it reminds me of parents interpreting for their toddlers.
Ha!
It does.
As an outside perspective. Oh, they said what? It's like, oh, they want grapes and a juice, and they said that your haircut is stupid. It's like, oh, okay. I did not get any of that from that babble.
Yeah, you got all that out of Blood and Magnify?
Yeah.
Okay. I guess you know your kid, lady.
Yeah, and the pantomime helps us, but it's very much mismatched. It shows Doc's and Sprocket's relationship, the fact that he can get this entire speech out of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so there's this whole beautiful speech, and after they decide they're going to open the door and let the cat in out of the blizzard, I was not expecting they just yeet a puppet punchline, but God, they did, and it got a big old belly laugh out of me. They open the door, and they just throw the puppet with a sound effect just from the door behind the desk, and it's so good.
That is Fluffinilla's primary means of transportation, is being yeeted. Yote? Being yote.
Yote, yeah.
Which we've seen once before, right?
Yes.
We saw this in a previous episode when she came in. Originally, in that episode, it was her attacking Sprocket, because that's their usual dynamic. And in this one, she is yeeted at him, but then she's, like, clinging on to him for body warmth because she's been out in the blizzard, which is very sweet.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So okay. Can we talk about the red and the boober?
Yeah.
Because oh my
Let's get
God,
to
there's
it.
so much.
There's so much.
Can we start off with just him being like, look, you have to cope. If I can cope, anybody can cope.
Honestly, I was going to start off with the lighting.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Like, it's red lighting, and there's, like, fog to indicate rock dust in the air.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and it's this tiny little set with the close-in rocks that you forget are just, painted styrofoam.
Mm-hmm.
It's very...
It's visceral.
Yeah.
And it has a ceiling.
Yeah, and a ceiling that moves.
A ceiling that moves. And Fraggles don't get a ceiling most of the time. We're always aware that we're in a cave, but they're always in a cavern. You'll get a few stalactites,
Ooh.
but they're in a...
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah. Like, they're not in very enclosed spaces except to sleep. And so the fact that they're in a space with that little room to move is a really different setting for them.
That's a trip.
Right?
Wow. Thank you. I had not considered that.
Yeah. It really makes the whole thing, again, you just feel it even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Red is really scared, and Boober is chill.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because some part of it very much feels like the mom friend override.
Say more about that for people who don't know what you mean.
Yeah, like me. What does that mean?
Okay. So the mom friend override is if everyone in a group is feeling like, if you're feeling really, really stressed and you can't do anything, but suddenly there's someone even more stressed than you and you can do the thing for them if you need to.
Yes.
That's the mom friend override.
Okay, got it.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely have purposely assigned kids that job.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm, just for people who don't know, I'm a special education teacher.
Hey, elementary school teacher, my people.
Nice! Awesome. What grade do you teach?
Right now, 4th.
I'm in 1st.
Oh, God bless you. I got nothing for anyone younger than 2nd.
Oh, no way. I won't touch 5th graders.
Great, cool. That's my happy place.
You have
I'm
them. I
glad
want
we
my
both
littles.
exist and have our specialties.
100%.
So when Red and Boober first get trapped, I think it's a really important detail, not just that Boober is the calm one, but that at first so he's got this line, he says, "Thank goodness I have my claustrophobia under control." Otherwise, I'd feel like these walls were closing in on me and pressing in until... And then that's when Red starts to freak out.
Yeah. Which I read it as the whole situation is Boober has imagined this scenario a million times in his head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe not this exact scenario, but similar things. And so in a way, he is oddly very prepared for this situation, whereas Red, you know, she does admit to being scared sometimes and that her normal self is at times a front. But she probably doesn't spend a lot of time thinking of like, oh, what if there's a cave-in? Oh, what if this awful thing happens? And so it takes her aback and she's terrified. She can't move. You know, it's something she hasn't anticipated.
Red trusts so much in herself that she doesn't really feel the need to prepare because she's just going to be prepared because she is Red.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I always read her as. She's got everything under control. She's positive. She's what everybody should be looking at. And she doesn't have a lot of preparation because she doesn't feel like she needs it. And Boober is he's the definition of intrusive thoughts. And
yes.
So he knows what to do with a cave-in because you know that this is multiple times that he's gone through his checklist of what to do in a cave-in, and he's already started on that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It is very interesting to me because one of the things, and this is one of those where I would love to do some more research on it, but I've seen several times situations where people with really gnarly anxiety were put in like incredibly challenging, complicated situations, and their brain was just like, cool, this is what I'm made for, and then they nail it.
Yeah. And I teach a social emotional curriculum called Zones of Regulation. I don't know.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Say more.
So it's a way of categorizing your emotions with validating all of them. All feelings are okay, but it categorizes them into 4 different zones. And I mean, it is meant to simplify it and teach it to very young kids.
Right.
So we know that emotions are more complicated, but this is the beginning. And there's a blue zone, which is more like you're slow, sad, depressed. They show that by like a slow down sign. And then the green zone is a green light, ready to go, ready to learn, calm, happy, all that jazz. The yellow zone is sort of most emotions, where it's like anxiety, confusion, overexcited. You're hyper. You're hyper aware of something, yeah. And that's your yield sign. You need to watch out. And then the red zone is your anger. You're out of control. Well, you're not always out of control because anger is okay. But it's a stop sign. You need to stop and assess what you actually need. And so many people with anxiety, they don't experience green or blue very often.
Mm.
And we describe kids often just like, yeah, they kind of live in the yellow zone or they kind of live in the red zone. That's the majority of the time how they're feeling.
Mm.
So whenever they will create, and adults do this too. We carry this into our adult life too.
Oh, yeah.
But whenever your natural life mismatches with your zone, then that's where you get a lot of behavioral problems.
Mm.
You're starting fights because, like, I'm in the yellow zone, guys. Why don't you all join me here? I'm going to call you a baby. I'm going to insult your mom. I'm going to take your toy. Now, everybody's just where I like them in this lovely little blend of chaos where I'm happy and I know what's going on.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you have an emergency situation and you're constantly living in fear and you're constantly in the yellow zone or even in the red zone, and then suddenly the whole world matches where you're feeling, then you're balanced because it makes sense because this is where you are all the time.
Dang.
That's such a good way to put it. Oh my God.
So
Chills.
yeah. And you'll find it in yourself. If you start to look for it, you start to really look for where you are naturally and where you're happiest and where you're calmest. I chose to be a special education teacher for early childhood. Guess which zone I'm naturally in? I'm in darn near orange, like all the time. If all my kids are doing the right thing, then I'm the one who's going to say, hey, who wants to do a really loud, aggressive song with a lot of body movements because you all are calm and I don't know what to do with you. Fortunately, I picked a classroom where most of my kids are just as loud as me. And so it's my happy place and it's where I do my best work. But so that's what we're looking at here. Boober is constantly in the blue zone. He is depressed. He is down. He is in a cave mentally all the time. And so whenever he
I feel like he's
there,
green, honestly, because he's depressed and also very anxious.
And very anxious, yeah. And, that's where I'm just like, yeah, zones is very oversimplified for real adult emotions. But he's already there. And now he's just I can deal with this. This is where I already live.
You reminded me of something that I'd forgotten that I did in the early pandemic, where I was like, okay, everyone is feeling anxiety right now, and that's new to a lot of people, but it's not new to me. And I feel like it was like when my friend who was in marching band in college in Flagstaff, Arizona, which was at 7,000 feet elevation, because of the elevation and low oxygen, their lungs got so powerful that when they would go down to play games in Phoenix, you know, they'd have these massive like ba 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 ba, and when the Phoenix bands would come up to them at 7,000 feet, suddenly their bands were going their lungs couldn't handle it. And I suddenly felt like the anxiety version of coming down to a game in Arizona. I was like, this is what I have prepared for.
Mm-hmm.
Come to me, all you anxiety newlings.
There's very big, like, welcome to my world kind of energy to it.
Yeah.
That's fascinating because I had that feeling around the social awkwardness and anxiety as everybody was re-socializing after the pandemic. So everyone's like, I don't even know how to talk to people anymore. And I'm like, this is what I grew up with. Welcome to my world. I'm the one on familiar ground now. Please come hang out and we will watch movies and then talk about the movies so that we have a structure for the hangout and then also a structure for the socializing after the hangout.
Yeah. And I was making friends with a ton of randos who were walking up and down my street. Hey, what you doing? You having a good day? Can you tell me how you're feeling right now? I need to connect right now, please.
Oh.
And it's just where you live, and it's not wrong, it's not bad, but
It's just where it is.
You understand it so much better whenever you're in your actual zone that you live in all the time.
Yeah. Which, okay, to connect this back to the Fraggles, like, they're talking about, like, you know, Red is like, how come you're not afraid? You're always afraid. And Boober's like, you know, it's funny, I'm not nearly as afraid as I used to get when I just thought about awful things happening.
Mm-hmm.
You were always the brave one. And Red is like admitting, like, a lot of times I was really scared. And he's like, oh, I didn't know that about you. And she says, I'm glad you're here with me, Boober. And you can tell that she means it. Like, she's not just glad that anyone is there with her. She's glad that Boober specifically is there with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very good line.
Which is huge because she never wants Boober anywhere.
Yeah.
Exactly.
She's just so glad for him. Oh, I'm gonna cry, guys. It's gonna happen.
It's gonna start.
Yep. So they move to they sing, and I don't remember the exact lead up to it, but they sing the friendship song.
Yeah.
And there's a detail. This is the one that I like got very close to crying on. I didn't wind up crying because I had watched the Adventure Time finale earlier in the same day and cried twice like I always do. So the well was dry, but this is the moment where I was like, they're singing, and Boober is singing like quietly but very firmly and very strongly. And Red is singing really, really breathily and kind of shaky. And then after Boober puts a hand on her shoulder, then her voice stabilizes and she starts singing a little more stably and a little more firmly. And just, oh, God.
And we were talking about the amazing soundscape of this episode, and I think it's worth noting that in the album versions of the friendship song, the music starts pretty much right away.
Right away, yeah.
But in this, we get a full verse sung a cappella with echoes.
Mm-hmm.
That is how you do mood setting.
Yep.
So, hat tip to musical director Don Gillis, and audio by Brian Radford, sound effects by Peter Campbell.
You're amazing. I appreciate you.
And VTR editor Pat Hamilton. I have no idea what VTR is.
Video technical riboflavin.
Radicalness.
Yes.
Also, there are several shots where they're zoomed in on their faces where Boober's talking to Red, and Red is shaking.
Yeah.
Like, you can see Red is shaking. And it's not like big, oh, blah, 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 this pup. I'm just sort of flapping my hand around like Kermit laughing. It's just like very tight, clearly non-voluntary shaking.
Yeah, you can almost see it in her hair the most.
Yeah. Which, I don't know if y'all have had that experience where your body is just shaking and you're like, it'd be cool if we could stop. And your body's like, yeah, dude, not gonna happen.
Yeah, you're just vibrating.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not conscious.
Yeah, that was, the detailing on that is very, very good.
There's a lot of amazing acting in this episode, and puppeteers still often don't get the credit they deserve, but Dave and Karen really knock it out of the park in all of these scenes they have together.
100%.
It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolute masters of the art, and I truly think that not just this episode, but this particular sequence is like one of the best things that the entire craft of puppetry has ever made.
Yep.
It was meant to change the world, and it does.
Yeah.
It changes so many little worlds. People who get to see this, who go out and find it, it changes that world inside of them.
Oh my God. It changes so many little worlds. Roz, I'm stealing that. Did you just make that up? Holy bleep.
You have it, darling. It's meant to share.
Oh my God. Wow. Yes, that's exactly what it does.
That was choice.
Holy crap. Wow.
See how good this freaking show is.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm
man.
so glad we're doing this. Okay.
Yes.
Hmm.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes. I knew this was going to be great. Okay. Yes.
So while we're on the train of lines and stuff that hit like a truck,
Yeah.
we're bouncing back and forth. We talked a little bit about Goebel organizing it, but they're talking, and there's this really, and again, music would have just overdone it. It's quiet. They're talking quietly. It's a shot, and this has to be, you see them sitting with their legs out in front of them, which enunciates how tight the space is and how scared they are. And I think it's Red says, I'm starting to feel kind of tired and giddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
And Boober says, you know what that means? I was like, all right, cool. They're starting to get like starving or whatever. And Red says, no, it means we're running out of air.
Yeah.
And she says it just so matter-of-factly. And I just went, oh my, yeah, it's not the line I was expecting there. And that quiet just sort of acceptance of like, yep, this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we can't do anything about it. But this is what's happening.
Yeah.
Boober just gives a very small nod, and then there's a significant pause before Red says, just kind of very calm and curious of, what do you think it's like to die?
Yeah.
And then Boober talks about the soap bubble popping.
Oh my God.
That
soap bubble.
Yeah.
I did not understand that as a kid. I didn't understand the connection.
Yeah, I wouldn't have if I had seen this as a small child.
Yeah.
The two lines that always get me, especially in this sequence with them, in this last little scene with them before they, spoiler alert, are saved, because it's season 1. It would be wild if they weren't saved.
Everybody breathe. If you haven't seen it yet, it's okay.
Spoiler alert.
We're going to make it through.
It's all going to be okay.
But like the back and forth of like Boober talking about the good times, and Red says, I didn't think you ever liked the good times, and he tells her that's a secret, and there's something about the way he says that. And then also at the very end where he just says, don't go to sleep, okay, Red, like, just kills me.
Just don't go to sleep.
Oh, yeah. No, that one really got me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm tearing up.
I know, you can't help it. I'm right there with you. And whenever he's talking about the soap bubbles, the lighting on this, it makes them so shiny. Like they're glittery. If you look, they look like every little bit of fur is just a little bit shinier.
Yeah.
And because you just get this hint of like sweating, like they're just kind of breaking down and they're starting to glisten a little bit. And they're speaking about soap bubbles and what's beyond and what do you think that it feels like? And it just kind of makes you, just reflect about what is around you right now. Like, what are you actually feeling in this moment? And it's really beautiful the way that they shot it so that you wouldn't be afraid. You wouldn't be devastated. You can keep watching. They make it just enough so that you have enough visual interest, you have enough sparkle, you have enough warmth that you still want to finish this, even though they're talking about something so terrifying and so difficult to discuss with other people as kids, with yourself. And they just make it beautiful enough that you can remain there with them and make it to the end. And at this moment, whenever you're a little kid, your prediction skills aren't so good. And you're just like, oh my gosh, this, I can handle this. I can keep watching, even though they're gonna die.
Something that did strike me in watching it, when I think of other kids programming, when they do tackle the topic of death, normally it's through the lens of, oh, a grandparent is dying, or I think of the Calvin and Hobbes strips where he finds the raccoon and the raccoon doesn't make it, and a lot of those other shows do so also poignantly, but in this, we're not looking at a relationship of mine, something is happening. It's the characters, the actual characters themselves are going through this, and you're so right, Ross, that they don't make it scary, they don't make it something that, I mean, who knows what kids go through, and so maybe, but it's not something that a kid would run away from necessarily. They do it calmly and quietly and, walk them through it, but so carefully and poetically that, it's a scary topic, of course. It's so heavy when you're first learning about that as a small kid, but they do it in a way that it just feels safe, that they could talk about it.
Yeah.
And that's something I found I really appreciated watching it this time around.
Yeah, they're also just, that's a lot of what the vibe is like when you're in a when it comes to situations involving grief or death, at a certain point, you're just so taxed by having experienced the adrenaline and the survival mode. At a certain point, there's this calm isn't the right word for it, but there's this sort of exhausted acceptance.
Tension reduction.
Yeah, because you're literally, and again, literally because your brain's just we can't keep this up.
Yeah.
And it's, that conversation they have is so beautifully earnest. It's not played for comedy. It's not played for laughs. It's not played for anything other than just, these are two characters talking. And the fact that Red gets to share that, I was scared, and then Boober's the good stuff, and she's oh, I thought you didn't like the good stuff, and he's well, sometimes I like them, but that's a secret. The idea that no, both of them are trying to acknowledge to each other that there are these fronts that they keep up based on just who they feel they are as people.
Yeah. Guys, Fraggle's mask.
Yes.
Just like the rest of us.
Oh my god.
What?
Yep.
They mask, they code switch, they do it all.
They do.
And just to keep going, because even in that, they have that beautiful friendship song.
Yeah.
And that friendship song is just, there's something about these cathartic, sad songs that we all know and love and turn to, just so that we can feel connected, so that you can practice those feelings in a safe way, so that whenever you're having relapses into a bad time, you have a place to go into that music. And this is just one of those, and it can work on so many different levels of dealing with grief. It's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lines, try a little longer for your friends, try a little stronger for your friends. It can seem trite from the outside, but oh man, is it ever true. It's like that mom friend override of when you think you absolutely cannot keep going anymore for yourself, and then suddenly you remember the people that make it worth it, and suddenly there is that little bit of extra oomph to keep going.
Well, and I want to point out that, because that one line, that was the one that stuck with me for the entire song, because it's not, don't give up.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, hey, keep fighting and never surrender. It's try a little longer. It takes this big indomitable task and it's yo, I get that this is a lot. And the implicit thing is, hey, you don't have to do all of this.
Yeah.
But just do a little more. Just do a little bit more.
That little bit more is just existing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just exist.
Well, and even just exist for a couple, I remember back, and if this is too personal, we can cut that, but I remember back when my depression was very bad and I had significantly less support within myself and within my community, the parts of me that were hey, dying would be great. The way you deal with that isn't, you don't say, I'm never going to do that. You say, well, I'm not going to do that this week. I'm not going to do that this week. I got this thing coming up.
Yeah.
You don't take it off the table because that is too overwhelming. You just acknowledge that no, I'm going to do this little bit next. I'm going to do it a little bit at a time.
Yeah. I've been there too in high school. And just the whole semicolon, just stay.
Yeah.
Just stay.
Yeah.
Nothing's required of you, except just stay a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Shall we pop back to the end of the episode?
Yeah.
So nice meeting you all. It's a lovely first day with you.
Oh, it's like, hey, new friend, let's get sad and vulnerable together.
Ready.
I mean, that's
here's my
kind of
heart.
how I roll, yeah.
Exactly. So, okay, obviously, Boober and Red get rescued,
Yes.
and it would seem like a very quick turnaround of like, oh, Boober remembers that it's his birthday because he forgot.
yeah.
And then they're like, hey, we've got this party. Let's just go throw the party that we were spending all day planning. And like, it could seem like a quick turnaround that feels like insincere and tone deaf. But nowadays I'm like, yeah, if I had spent my birthday thinking I was going to die and then got rescued unharmed, you're darn right. The first thing I'm going to do is throw a party.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like with food and loved ones and singing and whatever else the heck normal people do that falls under the partying umbrella. Not that.
Yeah.
Just like hanging out with the people who mean a lot to you and eating some good food and remembering why being alive can be awesome.
Yeah. And I love that we linger. It's not just party shot and then the episode ends. It's no.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the party shot. We're going to sit and look at this for a little bit, and we're going to experience this catharsis of having come out the other side of this experience.
And we get this wonderful little aside with Red and Boober in the middle of the song while everyone else is singing. Boober's like, Red, that business of me liking fun and games. And Red is like, and that stuff about me being afraid? Boober's like, those are secrets, right?
Those are secrets.
I love that for them, that they've got this bond now and they understand each other on a deeper level that it doesn't need to be shared with anyone. That's just theirs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have something in common, and it's a secret.
And that's the thing is, it's not a secret because it's like, oh, we can't tell anyone. It's a secret because, oh, it's nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nobody. This is literally nobody's business. They don't need to worry about that. This is ours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They shared something, that hopefully none of the other Fraggles have experienced, and that's their bond now.
Yeah.
Their trauma bond.
If they did try and share it, they wouldn't understand in this quite the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and David Young wrote this, right?
Yes.
And he wrote, like, such deep ones.
Oh, yeah. Some very hard-hitting ones.
Yeah, very, very hard-hitting ones. I would say that this is the deepest, though. This is the one that goes the darkest into your soul and into, childhood contemplation. But it just shows, like, how important it is.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to teach this to kids anymore.
No.
They don't, and it's crap because kids want to learn it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kids want to learn it. They want to know what's going to happen. And, you will never get your students back on track if you mention two things. Number one is their pets. You will hear about them forever and ever and ever. Amen. And number two is death.
Whoa.
Because that just holds onto them. And usually it's, a family member dying or a pet dying or even an episode that they saw.
Mm-hmm.
But they want to hold you there and they want to talk about it because they don't get to very much.
Mm.
Yeah.
And like I always said, whenever I was teaching preschool, I'm like, this is why I teach about dinosaurs, because we need to teach about death.
Whoa.
And all the
Ooh.
dinosaurs are dead, and we need to know how to deal with that because we love dinosaurs,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all
Oh,
gone.
yeah.
So how in the world can we live every day without something that we love, like dinosaurs?
Whoa.
And parents would often look at me like, okay, so you're a bit much. And I'd be like, yeah, I know, but it's okay because I have a master's degree in this. No, I know where I'm going.
I am a bit much in the way that your children need. You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah, I know your kids. They're a bit much too. This is fine.
I'm a bit much, so you don't have to be.
Exactly.
Hey.
Like, you go do your accounting job. I'm going to do this.
You go do your accounting job. I will prepare a bunch of young minds for existence, and you'll make 3 times what I do. Hey-o.
It's what we do. It's what we do.
I'm not bitter. There's one other line that I just want to touch on here.
Yeah.
And it's not even about any of that. Just so they're talking about it, and Gobo says, "Go get the lima bean soup, eh?" And it's like, when did you, like, have we heard them do Canadian mannerisms before?
CanCon. Alert, alert, necessary CanCon.
CanCon?
Yes. Have you ever heard of CanCon?
No.
No. Is it like Cancun?
No, no, very much farther north. So in Canadian television, and of course, the magnificent Anthony Strand would know the exact dates that this was enacted, because I don't think that it applies anymore. But Canadian broadcasting television required a certain percentage of the show to reference Canada in a positive light. And this was called Canadian content, aka CanCon.
Interesting.
And so, since this was produced in Canada, it had to have positive references to Canada throughout. And part of that CanCon was Gobo's accent.
Yeah.
Huh.
How did I never know that?
Yes, anytime that he said, then that counted as a percentage of CanCon, especially because it was in a positive light. And he says it right at the party time. Go figure.
Fascinating.
I love knowing that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It was a legal law. I don't know if it's still in effect.
Hope not.
So watch for comments from Anthony Strand, because he can give you specific dates and timelines.
CanCon. Pew, 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 pew. Is there anything else we want to touch on before we get to how to make the world a little fragglier? I feel like we've done a really thorough job.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
So, chronologically speaking, we just wrap up with Doc and Sprocket. The storm has cleared, Fluffinella can go home, and Sprocket is freed of this burden of hospitality.
We get a goodbye little...
As Fluffinella yeets herself across the screen once again.
They use the catnip to lure her out the front door.
Yeah.
Get rid of her.
Let's see. The only note on the international versions is that in the Uncle Matt postcard, he encounters the, quote, lair of the long red giants, which apparently are double-decker buses.
Oh. Cool.
So again, like, no connection.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, I guess you can think of his postcard in this version as being like, why would someone voluntarily take on a extra danger? Like chewing something that would make your tongue explode?
I would say that's a bit of a stretch, but it doesn't not work.
I appreciate the effort. That was that was a big jump. But yeah.
That was the most like proud preschool teacher thing. Like, oh, that was a big jump. Good job.
Good job, buddy. Look what big jumps your brain can make.
It permeates my life. I do not mean to be patronizing in any way. This is how I really am. I talk to everybody like that.
It super didn't scan as patronizing. It just scanned as like, oh no, I'm going to take a second and be proud of this thing. Good job.
I appreciate the effort. You know, not many people would have attempted that. So yeah, good for you. You did it.
Oh, gold star for me.
Yes.
Yay. Mm-hmm. Getting a good grade in podcasting, which is normal to want and realistic to achieve.
Yes. Exactly.
All right, let's figure out how to make the world a little fragglier, and then all go drink some water and eat a meal.
Yeah.
Yep. All right.
How are we going to make the world a little fragglier? Research mutual aid networks in your area. The local ones are always the best. And guess what? Most of them are really happy to have you join at whatever level of capacity you're capable of. If you can only like run groceries to a couple of elderly people a few times a month even, like, that's fine. They will be happy to have you join. There are like whole compilations of mutual aid networks based on location. Like it's never been easier to get involved in just supporting your community. So yeah. And it doesn't even have to be in person. It can be virtual, like doing data entry or making calls or whatever your particular skill is. It's needed somewhere. Yeah. Be a gobo. Don't be a fearless. What's his?
Felix the Fearless.
Felix, there it is. I was gonna give him a moniker, but it involved a swear word, so I chose not to.
I guess I would say, if you are going to be a Moki and you need to put the good thoughts out there, support suicide awareness for other people. It's not take away the taboo. Let people know that we're there for them. Spread the word of suicide awareness hotlines. Mm-hmm. And in the end, the smallest thing that you can do is just sit and listen.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, if you are someone who deals with a grand amount of anxiety, therapy and or meds can be your friends, and they can help you distinguish between the moments when the feelings of impending doom you have might not actually be necessary, and when you should listen to your anxiety and know that it is a moment for awareness and panic, because there is a difference sometimes. And so getting help is a great thing to do for yourself.
I would say that, try and figure out the ways in which the things that the world sees as flaws can, in fact, be strengths. The ways in which, that thing that you hate about yourself and wish you could get rid of can actually help out someone in need who's going through the same thing.
Yeah. It's okay to sit down and be real with yourself and let that confidence mask drop a little bit.
I'm a big proponent of radical vulnerability.
Yeah.
Is that just like talking about your feelings, but like while you're surfing?
Tubular.
Oh, that's tubular vulnerability. I'm sorry. Okay.
Tubular vulnerability.
My bad.
Oh, I like you all very much. Thank you all for being here.
This was
great.
Way too much fun.
Roz, where can people find you on the internet if you wish to be found?
Oh, dear.
It's totally fine if you do not wish to be perceived.
You don't have to come find me on the internet. And if you would like to get to know me in person, feel free to reach out to Anthony Strand at toughpigs.com. He filters out most of the world for me while I continue on with my real life, and I'm very grateful to him. He is a marvelous best friend and wonderful husband. And so if you would like to get to know me in person through podcasts or anything like that, just know that I care about you. I'm glad that you exist and that you're here. And if you ever want to come up to meet me in person up in the Northern Lakes region, I will probably make you something yummy and invite you into my living room to watch Fraggle Rock.
No.
Heck yes.
I'm the opposite of that. Don't perceive me. Don't look for me.
Yeah, don't look for me online.
Don't look for me. Look for yourself. Don't look for me.
Look into your heart and you'll find a little bit of Roz in there, and that's good enough.
Well, I'll tell you exactly where you can find me. You can find me at Geek Girl Grown Up, mostly on Instagram these days. I occasionally write for Tough Pigs, and if you enjoy poetry, you can look up juliagaskill.com.
Yep, and you can find me on social media at Beth Anna Cook. I'm still trying to figure out what Twitter alternative I'm going to migrate to.
Yep.
And yeah, occasionally writing for Tough Pigs. Reminder to listeners to check out toughpigs.com. Give us a good review on your podcaster of choice. And we will see you next time.
Don't forget to dance your cares away.
Down at Fraggle Talk.
Fraggle Talk Classic is brought to you by toughpigs.com. Fraggle Talk art by Dave Hulteen Jr. The Fraggle Rock mark and logo, characters, and elements are trademarks of the Jim Henson Company. All rights reserved. The Fraggle Rock theme song, written by Philip Balsam and Dennis Lee, is used with permission. Special thanks to the Jim Henson Company and the entire Fraggle Rock family. For more from Tough Pigs, please find us at Tough Pigs on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, TeePublic, and Patreon. Fraggle Talk Classic is produced and edited by me, Beth Cook. Thank you to Joe Hennis, the Tough Pigs Muppet Fan Podcast executive producer. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time, down at Fraggle Talk. Red leather, yellow leather, lavender leather.
Ooh, I haven't heard the lavender leather.
Lavender leather.
Right? I heard that in a college Shakespeare class, and I was like, oh, I'm adopting that one.
Lavender leather.
Lavender leather?
That
I hardly know her.
That's awesome.
God, I used to know so many of those tongue twisters for theater.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, raise your hand if you were not a theater kid. That's what I thought.
My favorite is still what to do to die today. It's a minute or two to two.
A thing distinctly hard to say, but harder still to do.
For there'll be to tattoo, a 22,
and the dragon will come.
And the dragon will come when he hears the drum.
Minute or two till two today, and a minute or two till two.
Both of us instinctively pausing so we could line up with the other one, but there being like a quarter of a second of lag. That was really cute in a very chaotic way.
Oh my gosh.
That was beautiful and not rehearsed even.
No,
that was
definitely
great.
not rehearsed.
That made me so happy.